Hello everyone, welcome again to another Narc Survivor live video. So I did a live video last night, as many of you may have seen. It was around 11 PM here in Japan. And then I had a shower, went to sleep, got up this morning, did some more work. And out already, it's not even 11 AM. Came out for a little walk on the beach. Always motivated to do what is right. To bring this message to you. To keep you on the right track in life so that you don't go off the rails like the narcissist. In this one, I am going to be telling you how you can hurt the narcissist forever. Before I begin, please show your support down below by giving this video a thumbs up. It's very important as it will help to get this message out there to other viewers as well. Alright, so let's begin. You want to know how to hurt a narcissist forever? By the end of this video, you will know just that. So the narcissist has hurt you. They've done all of these horrible things to you. And naturally, of course, when a person feels hurt, they desire to hurt them as well. As the saying goes, hurt people hurt people. You can't give someone something you don't already possess. So if you decide to hurt someone, it's because you feel hurt yourself. So you want to project that pain onto them. You want them to feel how you feel. But you have to remember that narcissists, they lack empathy. So if they hurt you and you feel pain, they are not going to feel that. They are not really going to care about your feelings, your pain. And this is why they cannot connect. They have an inability to be vulnerable or to experience true love or intimacy. Because they lack effective empathy, they cannot feel another person's feelings or experience as if it was their own. While we can, which is why when they're going through something, they bring a lot of shame to our lives. We immediately experience it as if it's our own emotion. And it pulls us into this void. And honestly, this is the reason why so many people, millions of people who have been in toxic relationships, many of them end up feeling suicidal because they're having this void pushed onto them. And it has nothing to do with them, but because the narcissist disidentifies with their own emotions and they have no consistent sense of self, then as empaths, we tend to identify with it, and then we self-loathe, and then we feel a lot of pain when that pain doesn't even belong to us. There's no reason for us to feel any pain at all. But we do because we just choose to identify it. And the narcissist notices that, and then they jump on the bandwagon, and they're like, oh, so you're willing to identify with my filth, my garbage, fine, I'll just dump all of this onto you, let you deal with it. Because they're weak, they can't deal with the pain, they just want to pass it off onto you. And that's really what it is. That's how we took different paths in life. We both could have gone through the exact same childhood trauma, and yet we became empaths, they became narcissists, because they were too weak to deal with the pain. Instead, they suppressed it, or they tried to deflect it onto someone else. And that's why they're shame-based people who are doing everything they can to avoid reflecting on their shame. But let's get straight to it. How can you hurt a narcissist forever? Well, with that being said, the fact that they are shame-based people who are doing everything they can to avoid reflecting on their shame, you have to remember that anything you do, if you go off and you try to live your best life, you try to prove something to them, you try to act like, oh, I'm so much happier now without you, I'm doing better things, you're not doing anything. Just that alone, you're still reacting to them, you're still reacting based off what they did to you. So that's going to allow them to pass their shame off onto you. Instead, what you want to do is do nothing. Don't even respond to them. Just don't even worry about it. And instead, just keep doing you. Keep doing what you would normally be doing, as if they were never even around. Just don't even pay them any attention. Focus on yourself. And be excessively involved in what you're doing. Don't pay them any notice at all. They will try to distract you. They will try to take you off your course, because that is how they get their supply, from pulling your natural energy and inclination, which would usually be directed towards yourself. If they can get that to be pulled out onto them, then that's how they get the supply, from getting your attention. So no matter what they try to do to you, how they try to pull your attention off of yourself and onto them, by using fear tactics or intimidation, maybe love bombing or manipulation, or whatever else they're trying to do, you must continue to keep that focus on yourself. And you can use a worst case scenario. They may be trying to use these scare tactics to get you to focus on them. And you just got to think to yourself, what is the worst thing that you can do? Just go ahead, do it. You want to kill me, you want to take me out, you want to destroy me, go on, just do that. And that just releases all of the resistance. At that point, you're no longer in a state of fear, and it puts you more into courage, which is a much higher vibration. And of course, once you're in courage, it's that much easier to get to acceptance and to love. And when you're in that state of love, you don't need anyone or anything. You're just happy by yourself. You don't need anything to make you complete. And that will really hurt them more than anything else, because life is not like that for them. They're constantly engaging in escapism, in trying to distract themselves from reality, because their lives are in shambles. They hate themselves and their life. So it's all just about distraction, and you become their distraction. You become their drug. They are addicted to people. They use people to distract themselves from their pain, to regulate their emotions, as well as many other things as well, such as shopping, gambling, maybe alcohol, tobacco, recreational drugs, or whatever else it may be. These are all just coping mechanisms and distractions from the shame and the pain that they feel inside. That's all that is, and that is why they can never be alone. And instead they have to run off with their new supply and flaunt this false image on social media to make it look like they're so much happier with you, when in fact, that's just a distraction from their pain. That's all that is. Because a person who is truly happy and at peace with themselves, they don't have to run off and prove anything to you. And that is why I advise for you to be the same. You do not have to prove anything to them. You just continue on your course. Forget about them. Continue doing what you do. Continue generating your source of happiness from within. And you can do that by moving out of the state of fear, by just having this, the concept of the worst case scenario. Just tell yourself, what is the worst thing that can happen? What are they going to do? The worst thing is, I don't know, maybe they could come to you, kill you. Then what? What are your religious beliefs? What do you believe when you go, well, if a narcissist came to me and killed me, I would just assume, all right, fine. Then I go to heaven. Eventually they die, they go to hell. So what? That's it, that's the worst thing they can do. Great. And then that moves me out of the state of fear into courage. And then I can quite easily move from courage into acceptance and love. I can love myself. I can love this world. I can love everything. Something a narcissist cannot do. They can't be vulnerable. They cannot connect. They cannot experience true love or intimacy. Why do you think they do what they do? But you don't have to sink that low. You don't have to get revenge like they do. Because you can connect. You can experience real love. You can do that right now just by connecting to your heart. You don't need anyone or anything to do that. You don't even need me. But if you want to use me as a vessel, that's fine. You can use this video right now to connect to your heart space, to lift you out of the fear and the shame that they have put you in. You can use this video right now to raise your vibes. And as I'm saying this right now, it is actually 11:11 a.m. here in Japan. But yeah, that's all you really need to do. What you need to remember is that a problem cannot be resolved from the same level of vibration that created it. So narcissists, they create this problem in your life. They pull you down to a certain frequency or vibration. They inject you with this poison. And the cure does not exist at that same level of vibration. As long as you're operating at that same level, there is nothing that you can do to resolve it from that state of fear or shame. There is no way out. There is no solution. What will heal and resolve it is when you connect to your heart space and you move to the state of love, the vibration of love. That will resolve it. And at that point, once you connect to that, you will no longer desire any closure or validation from the narcissist. You just won't even care. The only thing you will want to do is just move away from their toxic shame, their dysfunction as fast as possible, and just be alone to yourself. Or be with other like-minded people. You don't have to be completely alone, I'm not saying that. But you won't desire to be involved with them anymore. Because you will recognize that they are coming at it from a lower vibration, a lower state of consciousness. And once you raise your consciousness, you will just see that you do not resonate with that. And that's really what you have to recognize, is that if you are thinking of wanting to hurt a narcissist forever, you're coming at it from the same level of frequency and vibration as they are. That's not going to be any good for you. It's going to trap you. It's going to keep you stuck at a lower level of consciousness where you're not even living potentially for the rest of your life, just as the same as them. Because yes, they are stuck in this cycle for the rest of their lives. And I too was like that at one point in my life, where I was just chasing the stuff, chasing luxury cars, 5-bedroom villas by the beach, women, smoking cannabis, going to bars. And did any of that ever make me happy? In the beginning, maybe for a very short time, but it got old really fast. I remember I rented a Porsche and I had a BMW as well. And at some point, just after a few days, I got so bored. I still had the Porsche, I was still paying for it. I just put it back in the garage and took out the BMW instead. And also, at one point I was staying in a 5-bedroom villa with 4 bathrooms, 4 floors, overlooking the beach. And even though I could still afford to have that, actually after that I was making even more money, I still just got rid of it. Got rid of the convertible as well. I had another car, BMW Z4, just got rid of that. Even though I could still afford it, I still had tons of money. I had enough money to rent a Ferrari at that point if I wanted to. I just couldn't even be bothered. And I just left it all behind. And yeah, it just got to a point where I was just in the middle of the jungle. I was in some little room. It was like less than $10 a night with this white-skinned girl from the jungle, just clapping her cheeks in some little room with my BMW parked outside, and I was making so much money, like $20,000 in a month. And I just didn't even care. I wasn't concerned with social status, going around flashing my car, staying in 5-bedroom villas, even though that's what I could have done. No, instead I was just laying there in some bed with ants crawling on the floor in the middle of the jungle. Just laying in bed with this random girl in the jungle. And yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is what matters more than anything is connection. And that's really how you hurt the narcissist. Developing that connection first with yourself, because the most important relationship you will ever have in your life is that relationship you have with yourself. And then from that point on, that you can then connect to someone else, and that will hurt them more than anything. There is nothing that's going to hurt them more than when you develop an authentic connection with someone else, because you could never have that with them. They could never have that with you. They lack empathy. They cannot be vulnerable. They cannot experience a true connection, true love or intimacy. That is not possible for a narcissist. That's why I tell you, narcissists are off limits. You should not be having relationships with narcissists. They're okay for one-night stands. They're okay for a short time, a weekend. Yeah. That's all right. If you just want to clap those cheeks for one night, that's fine. But even then, don't get pulled into it too fast. As I said in my video the other day, it's like you think you're just having a one-night stand with some grandiose somatic narc, then before you know it, they're staying at your home, you're paying for their food, you're taking them everywhere they need to go, and then you got no life of your own. So think carefully. This is why I say narcissists are off limits. They get into your life and then you can't get them out. This is exactly what happened to me. I had some girls, I thought, oh, yeah, just take them in, just have sex. Before I know it, I'm like taking care of them, and I'm wondering, how did it get to this point? How did it end up this way? Where I thought I'm just getting some action, now I'm looking after them. And of course, yes, I do look back and wish that I had just had a wank. Just watch some porn instead of, why did I have to go and stick my dick in there and just fuck up my life? I mean, seriously. I do wonder sometimes, but then also I do teach that we shouldn't regret anything in our past. Regret is not good, it's not healthy, because think about it. At one point in your past, that was what you wanted. So those guys who are watching this right now, I don't know, maybe you had a one-night stand. At night, you thought you had a perfect 10. You thought you had this blonde bombshell, everything you wanted. You woke up the next morning, you're looking beside you. It's like you've got this beached whale, Shrek, something out of a horror movie. You shouldn't regret that. Because as I said, at one point, that was what you wanted. You wanted it the night before. So don't regret it. Nah, I'm only joking. Of course. Physical appearance is not everything. And in fact, going back to that girl that I was with in the middle of the jungle, I mean, God, I had my chance with some really beautiful women. I really did. But yeah, there was this girl I met in the middle of the jungle. She was quite overweight. She didn't really have the most beautiful face of today's ideas of beauty, at least. But in that moment, I felt close to her. I felt like we had a connection. And I believe that matters more than anything. It's not all about this big show, this image, what you present to the world. There's so much more to it than that. Now, at this point, I am more mature. I mean, you all know about my past. You know, I've had like a bit of a sex addiction before, not now. I am much better now. But before, you know, there was a point where I was having sex with like 3 to 4 different girls a week. And it was an addiction. Can't say that I wasn't enjoying it. But it definitely took up a lot of my time. Took time away from my work. And at one point I even had like 20, 30 girls on the go. I mean, speak about a harem, a garage. I mean, I had like a full car showroom. Like, I mean, seriously. But yeah, at this point now in my life, I am more mature. And the most important thing to me and what I want is that connection that I have with someone else. If I'm not connecting someone, I don't care. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to know. Just keep it away from me. It's no good to me if it's not about connection. Because I want a reflection in life of what I have with myself. Yes, I have a relationship with myself. I have a connection with myself. So I do not want a reflection that does not line up with that. It does not belong around me. I mean, you know, if a person loves themselves, why would you want someone around you who hates themselves? Doesn't make any sense. It doesn't vibe. It doesn't resonate. So it needs to stay out of my energetic field. Unless, of course, there's something that we can do about it. Now, that's a completely different story altogether. Because if someone is coming to me and they're not too far off energetically, so it is possible for me to raise their vibrations and to bring life into them, then that's fine. I can do that. That's no problem for me at all. As long as they're at a similar level. If they're so far off, I mean, if it's like a narcissist, they're so full of shame, they're so miserable, they're just so low down, that's gonna pull me down as well. And it doesn't matter how high up you are vibrationally, it will still pull you down. It will still affect you. So you have to avoid these types of people at all costs. All they're going to do when they come around you is they're going to make you feel miserable. Because despite the image that they're presenting, that is all a facade. It's not real. If it was real, then you would feel good about yourself as well. So that's how you know whatever they are doing. When they run off and they flaunt their new supply on social media. Honestly, some of you may not believe this, but this is actually true. If it was real, if they really got their shit together and they moved on, they were happy, you would be happy for them. The reason why you're not happy when you see them flaunting their new supply on social media, it's actually because you already know that it is fake. And you know that it's fake because of how they treated you. If they're really about love and they really care for people, why did they not care for you? The truth is, these people do not care about anyone but themselves. They really don't. I mean, myself, it's not just something where I'm just with some girl and that's that, and it's all about just me connected with her. No. Real love, real care for people that extends beyond your family, your relationship, and it goes out into the community as well. I never really talk about what I do for the communities, but honestly, all of the countries that I've traveled to, I have contributed so much. I mean, the amount of money that I have spent in certain countries, and even in like Sri Lanka, when I was there for a few months. This was just last year, for example. I was there for 5 months. Just in that amount of time, I must have given almost $1,000 to homeless people, people on the streets, children who just appeared to be there on their own. And on top of that, I even gave food away as well. Anytime I went to a restaurant, if there was any food left over, I made sure that they packed it up and then I could give it out to people on the street, especially when I saw children there who were on their own. And also, another thing I've got going on now as well is the charity that I've created for the children in Gaza. Many of them don't have a home, they don't have any food. So that's another thing that I'm doing now as well. At all of the live videos I do, I never really speak about this because I genuinely believe that the best charity is when it's just you and one other person. And I've had so many moments, so many experiences like that. It's just you and them. No one else is around. No one else sees what you're doing. And just out of the goodness of your heart, without expecting anything in return, you just give them money. You give them food, whatever they need. I mean, for me, that is the most beautiful experience in life. I mean, just remembering some of the kids in Sri Lanka, they had no money, no food. Some of them, I would just give them 5,000 Sri Lankan rupees in their hands. Or I would just give them some food. And to just see their face light up. Just, you can see in their eyes, and they would smile. And it just really touched my heart. Just warmed me up inside. Just such a good feeling. And the best part about it is walking away, knowing that I have made a difference, and then they can just go off and, I don't know, share the food, the money with their family or whatever else they intend to do. Hopefully they do use it for something good. But yeah, that is just the best part about life. For me, it's that connection. Knowing that I've improved someone's life. I mean, that's real love, is when you just don't even expect anything back in return. Of course, if someone does want to do something for you in return, my belief is that you should accept it. If they want to do a little something to please you as well, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, it's not nice if someone is trying to thank you, they're trying to give you a gift, and you reject it. You know, give them that opportunity as well to share with you just as you shared with them. You know, that's what we do as empaths. That's what real love is. And that's why I always tell you to show your support down below and give this video a thumbs up, because, you know, that's what we're doing. We're sharing the love. And I think this world would be a much better place if we could all just love each other. I mean, I think that's really what it is. For me, you know, that's what brings me so much pain. Is when I go around this world, I'm in different countries all of the time. And yeah, that's the worst part for me. You know, that really shocked me more than anything else. It really just disturbed me, you know, as an empath. Especially when I was in Sri Lanka. I mean, I hate to just attack Sri Lanka all the time here, but, you know, I've been there and I am half Sri Lankan myself. So I think I do have a right to speak about this. But it is really bad. I mean, I was driving around there, seeing people with no arms, no legs. I didn't even know what happened to them, how that happened. You know, some of them can't speak English, so they can't even tell you. And then you see people have no food. They're very skinny. You can tell they haven't eaten for a long time. They've got no money. They're just out on the street begging. Sometimes you even see young children. And then other times you see people driving around in supercars. And I'm just thinking to myself, how is this possible? How can these people drive around with not wanting to help? Because I know if I was a millionaire, I would be giving out thousands everywhere. If I had the money to spare, I would be changing lives every single day. I would feel extremely guilty if I wasn't doing that. And I wouldn't be expecting anything from anyone in return. I would just be giving it out like, here you go. Here's $5,000, here's $10,000, just take it. Go, change your life, help your family. That's exactly what I would do. You know, that's really what gets to me when I travel around this world. That's what bothers me the most, and it reminds me, you know, statistics show only 1% to 2% of the world are empaths, and I can really see that. The people who get to the high positions, they become CEOs. Many of them are psychopaths. They don't care about anyone. They could just drive past in their supercar. Could be someone with no legs on the street. They don't care. They're not going to help them. I could never do that. I could just never do it. It was never just about me and my image. Like I said, I had a Porsche for a few days, just put it back in the garage. I had a 5-bedroom villa, got rid of it even when I was making more money. I'd rather just clap some cheeks in the jungle somewhere. Don't need much money for that. And actually, a lot of the girls I met, they were paying me. I had the money, I wanted to treat them. No, they had to pay money for me all the time. Yeah, that just pains me more than anything, though. To just see the injustice in this world. Because I myself, I am extremely grateful just to even be here, to be alive, to have this beautiful face, this beautiful body, to be as intelligent as I am, and to have had all of these amazing experiences over the last 5 years. You know, just that in itself has been an incredible journey for me. So, yeah, I'm very grateful. And that's why I like to extend my gratitude outwards onto other people as well. That's why I do what I do. That's the reason. It's because I'm trying to extend my love and my gratitude onto other people. So why shouldn't I continue to do that? And also, you know, if other people want to show their gratitude and appreciation in return, what's wrong with that? You know, that's how it should be in this world. You know, I should love all over you, and you should love all over me. That's reciprocation. That's how it's supposed to be. And then together we can find happiness, joy. We're meant to help each other. And that's why I just can't understand, you know, the people in Sri Lanka who had a lot of money. I just couldn't understand how they could just drive past and not do anything. Because me, I'm just like jumping out of my seat on every street, just thinking, you know, what am I going to do next? Because I see people in need. And of course, I'm in need as well. I'm in need of your support on this channel. Because I can't do this alone. We have to work together to get this important message out there to other viewers as well. Of course, I can't do all of that on my own. And I haven't been doing it on my own. I've had your support along my journey all of this time. But yeah, you want to know what will hurt a narcissist forever? That is really it. That is really it. Even if you have nothing in your life. I mean, a narcissist is the type of person who could go in the jungle and be envious of a monk. A monk who has no money. They're not surrounded by their family. They don't have any relationships, no cars, nothing. Yeah, they could go into a jungle and be envious of a monk because that monk has found peace within himself. He doesn't have any addictions. He's not worried about all of these things in the world. All of these simple pleasures, as some people may call it. You know, alcohol, drugs, smoking, going to clubs. Of course, most monks, they don't tend to be involved in that kind of stuff. And so these narcs will go into the jungle and they'll be envious of the monks. Because that is it. There are levels to this. You think, oh yeah, you move on, you become the best version of yourself, you live your best life. You develop all of these friends, all of these relationships. You make tons of money, buy a big house, nice car. You think that's going to hurt them? They're not that stupid. They can see, just as we can see it. Just like celebrities, you look at them, they got all of this money. They got all of these people with them, all of these connections, all of these mansions around the world, these cars. We look at them and we know they're not really happy. We all know that this is to compensate for something that they're missing within. And that's why they have to put on this big show for everyone and act like they're the wealthiest, they're the richest, they're the most beautiful, the most handsome. They got everything. That's why they have to do that. But I'm not just some guy with no money who's never had any success, who's just like hating on the rich. No, I've talked about it in previous videos. From the moment I was born, I grew up in a 4-bedroom house with a swimming pool. And my parents had 4 cars. They had brand new Mercedes S-Class, brand new Mercedes E-Class, BMW 3 Series, and a Nissan. So they had 4 cars in the drive. And throughout my life, when I was a teenager, we had mansions with 4 floors, 5 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, sauna, steam room, gym, jacuzzi. So many brand new cars, Mercedes, AMGs, Aston Martins, all brand new. Aston Martin DB9, DBS. This was all completely normal. This was nothing out of the ordinary for me. And then up until now, yeah, I started my YouTube channel when I was 29. Not long before I turned 30. And then by the age of 33, I became a millionaire. I've traveled around the world, stayed in 5-star hotels every day like it's nothing. Been to so many different countries, rented all of these sports cars. Did I find fulfillment in that? No. Did I find fulfillment in having 20, 30 girls on the side? Having sex with 3 to 4 different girls a week? No. The ego always wants more. It is never enough. So they see that and they already know you're stuck in this endless cycle trying to find fulfillment, and you are never going to find it. They know that. Of course they know that, because that's exactly how it is for them. They can't find fulfillment within themselves, so of course they want to put you on that hamster wheel where you're never going to find fulfillment as well. The only place you're going to find that is within yourself. That is the truth. Like I said, a problem cannot be resolved from the same level of vibration of which it was created. So if it's something to do with guilt, fear, or shame, that cannot be resolved from the vibration of guilt, fear, or shame. And if it's something to do with desire, well, desiring things, even if you get what you desired, you're still not going to be happy. You're just going to want something else. You're going to want something more. I can tell you, I've had all of these desires myself in my life. I thought, oh, yeah, if I can just make this amount of money, have this amount of subscribers, if I can just have a Mercedes, a Porsche, a massive villa, yeah, finally I'm going to be happy. Well, what happened to that? Because I got all of that stuff and I was still miserable. I was still smoking weed every day. I was still addicted to sex. It didn't change anything. You have to raise your vibration. And most of the time you can only do that by going within. Unless you're around someone who is of a very high vibration, then, okay, yeah, you know, that is an exception. But even then, you don't want to be dependent on anything outside of yourself. Because if it can be given to you, it can be taken away, and then what are you going to do? Like, let's say you're a millionaire, you got all of this stuff. What happens if one day it all goes? You're going to end up depressed and suicidal. You're not going to see any point in living anymore if it was never real, if it was never coming from within. So you see how important it is to generate it from within. It's very important for you to do that. And this is how, what will hurt a narcissist more than anything else, is when you do find peace and happiness within yourself from raising your vibration. Yes, that will hurt them more than anything. When you don't even feel the need to prove anything to them anymore. That's when they will see it as though you have won. But by that point, you won't even see it in black and white. with winning and losing. You're not even going to care about that anymore. Once you get to that vibration of love, once you get into that vibration, you're not going to want, need, or desire anything. You're not even going to care. They're going to be more worried about you. They're going to be more worried about coming back to you and trying to make you want this, need that. No, that's them. They're just projecting that onto you. Do not identify with it. You do not need it. What you need is to raise your vibration. What you need is a better relationship with yourself. And only then can you have a relationship with someone else. Because until that point, it's going to be a very insecure relationship or friendship or whatever it is. We do need to take some time to heal. I mean, just look at me. I spent a few years alone, and just look at the man that I have become. I am a million times better of a man than most men these days. And that's not coming from arrogance. That is coming from actually doing the work and going within for many years. So at this point, yeah, I have the right to say that. I am more of a man than most men in this world. Without a doubt. And that's how I can get on here and speak with real confidence and conviction. Because I know what I'm talking about. I've been through the journey. I've been through the trials and tribulations. I've worked on myself. I've healed myself. Of course, we're never going to be perfect. I mean, it's not like one day you just wake up and it's like, oh, yeah, I'm complete. No, it's not like that at all. What it is it's like going to the gym. You need to work on yourself every day. Brian Crawford said, but you're still lonely. No, I'm not lonely. I've got all of you. I've got 134 live viewers watching me right now, being my authentic self, being the real me. Do you know how many people around the world? Just take a celebrity for an example. They've got all of these friends, all of these connections. They've got all of these people around them. They're more lonely than anyone else because no one sees the real them. No one cares about who they actually are. All they care about is their false appearance. That's why when you're with a narcissist, it's more lonely than being alone. Because they don't even see you. That is the loneliest thing in the world. To be surrounded by narcissists who can't even see you. Because they're projecting that onto you and then you can't even see yourself. So, if I am ever lonely in my life, it's because I'm surrounded by loser narcs who can't even see me. That's the only time that I'm lonely. But if you see my videos when I go out into the jungle, I'm hiking, I'm all on my own. I've never felt more at peace with myself in my entire life. I've never felt less lonely than when I am actually completely alone. Whether it's in the deserts in Jaffna in Sri Lanka and there's literally no one else there, or when I'm in the jungle in Malaysia, because I am a complete person. I don't have a void inside of myself. I don't need anyone to fill this void. I can do that myself just by going into the desert or the jungle and being completely alone. But even then, I'm not alone. I'm surrounded by nature. There's birds flying everywhere. There might be snakes, lizards. And for me, that is the best company. The worst thing for me is being in the city surrounded by people who can't even see me because they're so worried about themselves and their own lives. And it's like I don't even exist. None of us do. And it's like because of that negative energy, you can't even see yourself in that environment. But then you get out to the jungle, the desert, and you're completely alone and you feel so alive. Even though you're alone. But then you can stand in the middle of a city with millions of people, and you've never felt so alone in your entire life. Because you're surrounded by fake people who don't even exist. Yeah, they're there in person, but there's no one actually there. The lights are on, but no one is home. And when you're around that type of energy, it rubs off on you. Then you feel like there's no one inside of yourself. And then it's like you just need someone inside of you to complete you. That's just how it is. Yeah. The most miserable, lonely thing is to be around people who the lights are on, but no one is home. They're there, but they don't really see you or acknowledge you. That's a narcissist. That's the void. You're being pulled, sucked into the black hole. And that's why you need to get away from that void as quick as you can. You need to move away from that hole before it sucks you into it. That's what you need to do. Because that's all it's going to do. You're going to get sucked into that hole. And once you're sucked into it, it's very hard for you to escape. It really is. But anyway, I hope I have given you some enlightenment in this video. You know, these cities, these environments, they are full of, quite simply, just death. These are lifeless environments, and it's like nothing can grow or survive. Anything pure or innocent will be contaminated very quickly. That's why we need to move to environments which have more life. Because that life will replenish you and make you feel more alive. You know, when I'm walking around these cities, I feel dead inside myself. Even with all of the energy that I have, I'm such a high vibrational person. I'm more high vibe than most people in this world. But I get around these environments, they're full of death, and it just kills me inside. It brings me right down. But then I can go to a vegan restaurant and eat vegan food, and straight away you can see it in my face. My vibration raises instantly because I'm eating something that's alive. Most of these people, they're not even vegan. They're eating dead animals. Of course, that's going to lower their vibration. They're drinking alcohol, they're smoking weeds. Oh yeah, that's so high vibe. That's just going to bring you right down. I don't want to take anything away from anyone. I'm just trying to put you on the right path to where you can raise your vibes. I mean, unfortunately, some of these discussions, some of the things that I say on here, it's not always so high vibe. Sometimes it is kind of low vibe because we have to talk about things that are uncomfortable. But then notice how you feel afterwards. Then you feel better once we've talked about it and you've confronted your fear, your shame. So negative vibes, negative energy, they do have a place sometimes as well. And what you need to do now is you need to spend some time around high vibrational people. You need to be around people who are more bright and colorful. They're full of life. And even for you, just wearing bright colors, that has a very powerful effect. Yes, colors do have a vibration. Just like in Chinese culture, Chinese tradition, you know, they're very into their colors. Certain colors project different moods. And yeah, that is very true. I do believe that there is actually some science behind that as well. Colors do carry a vibration, but it can also be whatever you believe it to be. You just got to avoid anyone who's projecting these negative beliefs onto you. Anyone who's restricting you or holding you back, you just got to say, no, no, no. That negative energy is not welcome around me. You can take that somewhere else. Or in fact, I will go somewhere else myself. And what you've got to do is to spend time around high vibrational people, people who are bringing something of value to you instead of taking value away. Eat high vibrational foods, vegan foods, things that complement your vibration, instead of just weighing you down all of the time, because that's what shame-based, low vibrational people are going to do. They're just going to weigh you down. They're going to make you feel miserable about yourself. That's not going to benefit you in any way. Move away from the low vibrational things. Just move away from it. The closer you get to it, it's like a black hole. You're going to get sucked into it. And as I said before, don't wrestle with pigs. You might get dirty, and besides, the pig likes it. Remember that quote? It's not my quote, but it's very powerful. And it's true. When you're around negative, low energy people, notice how you feel. Notice how you feel in that environment. It doesn't feel good, does it? And then move away from it. Go into another environment. It could be with higher vibe people or with no one around. And then notice how you feel. Notice the difference. That's how you know it's not you. Because if it was you, you would still feel the exact same way even after you moved away from those people and you moved into a different environment. That's how you know it's not you and that you are right in your decision by walking away. That's how you know, because otherwise your vibration would not shift immediately the moment you get away from them. So that is undeniable evidence right there. And there's nothing anyone can say about that. No one can take that away. So I'm just going to leave it there. I'm going to leave you with that. And I hope that raises your vibes more than anything else. Also, sometimes I like to remove my shade so you can see in my eyes, because as I said, we all carry a vibration. My vibration is very high. Most of the time I am in the vibration of love or reason or acceptance at the very least. So when a person looks into my eyes, it transfers that energy to them. A lot of people these days, they always have an agenda. They do things premeditated. They're always thinking of things beforehand. It's pre-calculated. That is very low vibe. It's typically coming from fear, desire, shame. What's high vibe is innocence and purity. That's what makes me such a high vibrational person. I'm not even thinking about what I'm going to do before I do it. I'm always in the moment. A lot of times I do things last minute because I'm not planning things out. That's what makes me such a high vibrational person. And that's why when you watch me, it transfers this beautiful energy to you. And you can just see it in my eyes. You can see the love and the positive energy that I have for you. And that I want the best for you. I want you to be happy. And that's what we should all want for everyone. But of course, we have to find that within ourselves first. We must love ourselves so that we have love to give to other people as well. And avoid any negative energy, any negative people. They're no good for you. They're only going to pull you down. You can't fix them. You can't change them. They have to find love within themselves. Narcissists, they're probably never going to find any love within themselves because they have a void. They have no identity of their own. They have a false sense of self. So the best thing you can do is just completely avoid them and go off on your own path. All right, that's it for this video. Quite a long one for so early in the day. I don't normally dedicate so much of my time in the morning to a live video. So I've got to get on now, get something to eat, and do some traveling, go to my next destination. And I'm looking forward to doing another live video in about 10 or 11 hours tonight. Hopefully I will see you all there. Thank you for joining me. And if you found this video helpful, you can give it a thumbs up down below. Very important, as it helps the YouTube algorithm to get this very important message out there to other people who need it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I read your comments every day and I try to respond to them all, or as many as I can. And also hit that subscribe button and click all notifications so that you will be notified of my videos in the future when I upload them. If you would like to book a one-on-one coaching session with me, you can do that on my website. It is narcsurvivor.co.uk. And also follow me on Instagram. I have new pictures and videos of my travels that I post every day on there. My Instagram is Narc Survivor YouTube. Thank you all. I appreciate the support. I love you all. And I look forward to talking with you in another live video later today.